My name is Linda Lewis. I'm from Waxahachie, Texas. I would like to talk about the judicial abuse with judges. What happened to myself and my daughter was done by Judge Gene Calvert Jr. of Ellis County, Texas. But after spending the 180 days falsely incarcerated, I knew that I could take it to another level and file for the malicious prosecution, wrongful imprisonment, and defamation of character. And I knew that I had the right to file against the wrong that was done to me and my daughter. So I went on and I filed my case in the Northern District Court of Dallas, Texas. And I know that I had an excellent case. I filed pro se, but I researched and I researched. And before that took place, my public defender, after being threatened, she met me at Starbucks and she told me exactly what I needed to file for. She told me that I needed to file for malicious prosecution, defamation of character, civil rights violations, wrongful imprisonment. And so I did that. So I went and researched every charge that she said that I had. And like the malicious prosecution, you only have 1 year for. So I researched it, and I put it together. And I filed pro se. I filed pro se for myself and for my daughter, Alicia, because she was so distraught of what happened to her, to where I had to be the strong one to let us see that we can get justice because we did nothing wrong. So when I filed it in the Northern District, my daughters came first. Chief Judge Sidney Fitzwater was her judge. The magistrate judge for her was Paul D. Stickney. We prepared her case for her because she was at school, and we talked to her on the phone because it was so stressful. So I became her guardian, and she signed over everything, a release, so that I can speak for her. So it stayed in there for about 6 months, and then she got a response. They dismissed her civil rights claims, but they allowed her to sue District Attorney Joe F. Grubbs for defamation of character, and Sheriff Johnny Brown for inhumane cell conditions. So she did that, and then the other part we filed that on appeal. So we filed motions on her behalf. We filed motions, and all of them was denied. So then we ended up filing a recusal on her behalf to recuse both of those judges. Instead, she filed the recusal to recuse Paul D. Stickney. Paul D. Stickney didn't answer, plus we filed a motion for a hearing along with the motion. He did not recuse himself, but 8 months later, when we filed a recusal to recuse Judge Fitzwater, Chief Judge Fitzwater, and Paul D. Stickney, then Paul D. Stickney answered the magistrate judge, dismissed both of the recusals. Unreal. He dismissed both of the recusals. So when we filed, and then he came back, and they came back, and then they dismissed her case. So it's on appeal. So when we filed an appeal, now we're doing the research on the appeal. The paperwork for the motion for the recusal was not in the records. The clerk's records. They did not include that to the Fifth Circuit. So I called the clerk who deals with the appeals and asked her, well, what happened to those records, to those documents? Why didn't they submit that to the court? Her reply was that it was a dot on those records, those recusals, because they were tough. They pointed out everything. They pointed out everything. Why wasn't they submitted with the records? She said that it was a dot that was placed on those recusals to be sent to the Court of Appeals. And we're like, So then she put me on hold. And then she came back and she took all the blame for it. Oh, that's my mistake. I said, so well, didn't you tell me that somebody put a dot? And that's why you said, oh, but it's my mistake. I did it. So I already know that they told her to take credit, take the blame for not sending them, because most people, when they do their research, they don't look at, when they file their appeal, they don't go through the documents. And the documents has all the court dockets have everything that's been filed. And that tells the appeal court, because they're not there, what's taking place and what took place. So that was another thorn in my side to say, oh, they're playing games with this. Then my case, after me writing them a letter, it was over a year before they even got a response. Because we filed it separate. It was over a year before I heard from the court about my case, because District Attorney Joe F. Grubbs dismissed his whole office. So in my case, the magistrate judge asked me a lot of questions concerning what happened in my case. After the district attorney, let me stop, because I'm getting really hurt.
Okay, well,
sure, we'll edit all this. You just.
Well, talk about what happened. Like how I forgot to say this. Talk about what was done to you guys in jail. Like how they accused you guys of breaking the shower head, and the other lady they told them that if they said that if it was you guys,
Yeah.
that, and you guys have
Well,
letters.
okay.
and
Well, he said he can edit it, so he can fix it up. Okay. The magistrate judge, Miss Irma Ramirez, she asked all kinds of questions. So I filed subpoenas. So when I filed my case in the federal court, they submitted to me subpoenas. So I filed those